Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the benefits of lesson plan preparation. Being a good teacher begins with lesson planning. It's a creative process that combines our knowledge of teaching practice with our understanding of students, the curriculum, and the teaching environment. It's a time when we picture the type of learning we want to see and consider how all the parts of the learning experience should work together to make that vision a classroom reality. The first question that comes to our mind is, why should teachers prepare a lesson plan? There are a variety of advantages to writing a lesson plan. Firstly, lesson planning leads to more consistent learning. Teachers can consider the connections between the following activities. Number 1, the connection between the present lesson and any previous or future lessons. And number 2, the relationship between learning activities and assessment procedures. The lesson will be more meaningful to students because the teachers has considered these connections. A teacher who has a strategy for upcoming class is more confident. Such teachers are clear about what needs to be done, how it should be done, and when it should be done. Because all of the informations have been gathered and all of the details have been decided upon in advance, the lesson will tend to flow more smoothly. Some teachers believe that lesson planning consumes an inordinate amount of time. However, lesson plans can be reused wholly or partially in subsequent lessons months or years later. Many teachers keep files of previous lessons they taught, which is then used to plan for their current classes. Also, if a supervisor wants to understand what was taught in a class few weeks ago, they only have to check the lesson plan for that date. Finally, lesson plans can be utilized to demonstrate a teacher's professional performance. So, what exactly is a lesson plan? A lesson plan is the instructor's roadmap of what students have to learn and the way it will be done effectively during the class time. Before you propose your lesson, you may have to first identify the educational objectives for the class. Then, you can design appropriate learning activities and develop strategies to get feedback on student learning. A successful lesson plan addresses and incorporates the subsequent three key elements. First, student learning objectives, second, educational activities, and third, strategies for assessing student understanding. Now let us know about the steps for creating a lesson plan. The first step is to determine what you wish students to be taught by the end of the class. Answering these questions will facilitate you in defining the learning objectives. The first question is, what is the lesson's theme? The second, what would I like students to understand? Third, what would I like them to grasp and be ready to answer as the lesson ends? And the last, what would I favor them to recollect from this lesson? After outlining the lesson activities for the teaching session, the second step is to rank their importance. This step will prepare you to manage class time and achieve important learning objectives if you are short on time. Now that you have prioritized the learning objectives, the final step is to create particular activities you will use to assist students to understand and apply what they have learned. Now let us know about the methods for developing a practical timeline. First, evaluate the amount of time each task will take. Then, schedule some extra time for each task. Second, when you arrange your lesson plan, indicate what proportion of time you expect each activity to take. Third, plan a few minutes at the end of the class to answer any question and summarize key points. Fourth, prepare an additional activity or discourse question just in case you have got time to spare. Fifth, be prepared to adjust your lesson to students' needs and target what appears to be working. The lesson plan must not be an exhaustive document that describes every possible classroom scenario so as to be effective. It also doesn't need to foresee every student's response or question. It should instead provide you with a broad framework of your teaching goals, learning objectives, and methods for achieving them. It is a reminder of what you should wish to accomplish and the way you would like to accomplish it. A productive lesson is one during which both students and also the instructor learn from one another, instead of one during which everything goes exactly as planned.